guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber from Kyuujin cosplay. And today we're back again, guys, with Hunter x Hunter episode 102.
Yes.
Killua is bleeding to death.
He got saved. Well, okay, he spared the octopus's life because he found him cool. I mean, he was loyal, and he told him his life story with stars and shit. It was pretty nice, and Killua found it cool, so he saved him. And then he faced Aquaman and his sister, and he almost died. He took on those darts like it was normal, and he knew right away. Well, not right away, but he knew pretty quickly what the power was about, sort of. But he took on that pain like he usually does, and he eventually prevailed. But this time, he might have gone too far, and he almost bled out. But thanks to the octopus, he's gonna be saved. So.
They're gonna see a doctor.
Yes.
There's no guarantees that he's gonna be saved.
He's gonna be saved. Come on.
I hope so.
A main character doesn't die, on his way to the doctor like this. At least I don't think in this show it would happen. I don't think they would do it. So he's not gonna die. He's been saved by the octopus. So that's pretty cool. And Gon is learning to more about his chameleon friend. He threatened him last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're lying to me, that'd be great. I'll kill you. So, the chameleon fears him a little bit. He knows he's strong, and he doesn't really know how strong he is, and I don't think God even knows just how strong he could be.
He knows that Gon's power is a sleeping beast.
Yeah.
And he's waiting for it to just be awake.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much what happened last episode.
So, let's watch the next one, guys.
Let's meet that doctor. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, if you want to see more of these episodes. That'd be cool. And if you want to watch the full reaction, check out Patreon. The link is in the description below.
Alright.
So
let's watch it, guys.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah,
we'll talk about the king first, because it's
okay, so forget about the theory that kid was the little brother or sister of the king. Forget about it. Okay, but yeah, like Meruem said, the way that he won all of those games is because he felt the rhythm of the game, of the players' game, basically, and they just completely destroyed it.
Well, it's interesting though also that it's funny that he talked about rhythm and stuff, because yesterday we were watching a video about fight choreographies, fight scenes and stuff, and the guys analyzing it were talking about how to win a fight. You learn the opponent's moves, you learn the basics and stuff, and then you find your opponent's rhythm. They literally said it exactly like that. You find your opponent's rhythm and you disturb it. And as soon as you've broken that rhythm, you just lay it on him.
Once you're in control of the rhythm of the fight, you can do whatever the heck you want.
Exactly. So it's the same in a game of the mind, basically a board game or something. It's the same in the fight. So that's why, Meruem, I think, is focusing on this. He's not a kid, but he's still a kid, sort of. He needs to learn about these things. And
he's a grown child,
well,
basically.
he's a child in a man's body.
Yeah.
And he's learning really quickly, but that's how, if you learn strategy games and stuff and you understand how it works, and his guards are also teaching him. It's not a coincidence that the one teaching him about this is the guy that plays violin, It's very important for him to understand this, because in a war, in a fight, when you're planning your next move, you need to be a good strategist, and if you play those games and you beat the best of the best, you just, confirm that no one is going to be able to overthrow you.
It does fit with his narrative that he considers himself like the ultimate living being. Physically, manly, he considers himself to be the strongest, but now he needs to become the strongest mentally.
Well, yeah.
So he needs to,
it's
to practice his mind,
And that's why he kills them when they start losing over and over again, because they have nothing else to teach him, basically. But then I would assume the little girl who is blind, because how do you disrupt someone's rhythm? It could be by, you know, making a move that attacks their pride. You know, we saw it in the Queen's Gambit, basically, when someone truly believes they're the best, and then they start going against someone who surprises them or does something they didn't expect, or they start winning, then the pride takes over and they lose it. Some of them would lose it. I think the last one was a bit like that. You know, even though he's facing Meruem, he's literally letting his pride speak, and he's saying, you know, oh, I was tired and stuff. Like, he's coming up with excuses because his pride won't allow him to, you know, accept that he lost.
I think it was more for that he was scared that since he lost the game, he didn't want to be killed.
Yes, well, okay.
Because since the king won the game, like, that's the it took the king 10 games to beat one of the world champion of Go. So he said, I wasn't at my best capacity. I can be better than that, so please don't kill me. I think it was more of that fact.
In that way, then it still, you know, came down to him trying to prove that he was better and stuff, or the other guy didn't want to resign. You know, it's the stress, I think, is working to break that rhythm of theirs, the tension and what's at stake. So when it comes to that little girl who's blind, I think, I would assume I would assume that, you know, it's not gonna work as easily with her, because she won't see the monster, she won't see the bodies, she won't see the horror of this situation.
She's gonna see him for who he is, literally.
Yeah, and she won't judge him, or she won't, you know, come in with expectations and stuff. So I think she will play at the best of her capacity, and in that case, that's when she won't be able to break her rhythm. So I wonder, you know, how that is gonna evolve. The narrator did say that she was going to change his fate. You know, she was going to influence what was going to happen to him and stuff. So how is she going to change him? Maybe he's going to have a connection, I would assume, with a human being, a little girl. I don't know how old, like, we won't let the appearance put us in the wrong, but
at first glance, I'm gonna say that she looks to be the same age as Gon and Kyuujin, like maybe 12 to 13 years old.
Which is usually...
She might be older than that, so we don't know.
But like Bisky.
Bisky is 50!
Yeah, but okay, even the narrator said, you know, little girl and stuff, so at least for now we think it's a little girl, you know, so not an adult. But I wonder how she's going to influence Meruem, what she could teach him, perhaps? And if she can bring it, because that's another thing that we could link to Meruem. Gon was saying, all of you, the chimeras, are starting to remember your human lives. I think they all kind of have a recollection of their human lives. It's just that for some of them, the animal part takes more, you know, takes over. With Leon, for example, the lion, whenever he remembers, you know, his past life, it's his lion life that takes over. So he thinks as a king of the jungle, you know, he thinks of everything that's going on as a lion, but he's got the intelligence of a human. But when you think about Colt, he was, you know, he remembered his human life more. When you think about the chameleon, apparently he's starting to remember more his human life. So I don't know if it's a process, you know, that will happen to everyone, like everyone eventually starts remembering their human life, or if it's as simple as some of them are more animal and some of them are more human.
Maybe.
But in that case, Meruem, who has much, you know, more humans in him than any other chimeras, what life does he remember?
I don't know, but I think that regarding the connection between the little girl and Meruem, I think that they might connect not of the human side of Meruem, but just like on his
on
the intellect side, because sometimes, because he's, like you said, he's really intelligent, he's really smart, he learned games like in a few hours, even less.
Yeah, it's true, but
so I think that
for her
she's gonna bring something to the table that he will not expect, and he's gonna be curious and intrigued by it. He's gonna want to learn more.
That could lead to much more, considering the narrator said she was gonna have such a huge impact on him.
She's gonna teach him decency and humanity. Well, maybe
that's the thing. I wonder.
How long is it gonna take him to learn that?
I'm thinking him becoming closer, you know, being closer to a human somehow, learning from a human, talking and playing with a human over and over again, because as long as she doesn't lose, he still has some stuff to learn, you know. So I wonder if she will manage to maybe reach that human side of him, which could be a good and a bad thing, actually, because we talked about how humans are worse than animals before, but maybe his emotional side, because he's very in his head. Emotions, we saw him lash out before, but he doesn't feel compassion. He doesn't, he sees that because he's on such a different level. He sees humans as insects, so he doesn't connect with them. He doesn't care, and it's not even hate at this point. It's just disinterest. Mm-hmm. So maybe with that little girl, if he sees something in her, it will change him a little bit. And I would like to see that, because that would be interesting. But then, if that doesn't happen, she will influence him in another way.
I have a question for you though. We know that he learned to play a game like in a half an hour.
He's that intelligent.
Yeah, but how long is it going to take him to learn to be a decent human being or a decent living being?
The rest of the arc, till he dies.
Till he dies.
Yeah, but no, yeah, that. I would like to see that, and why I'm speaking of this, why I'm talking about a potential, human side to Meruem, is because it was in the same episode as the chameleon, talking about his human side, which makes a lot of sense. Some of them do look more human than others, and some of them showed compassion way before Meruem came about. So
yeah,
I was glad to learn more about the chameleon. Like I said, I personally would not trust an enemy that easily. And even if they were starting to tell me, their abilities, I would assume that they're still hiding something, which is what Gon kind of did. So I approve. Good thing, kid, because you can trust your enemies, but still, be wary a little bit. So he's quick to trust, and he's quick to agree to stuff, but I think it might also be because he senses it. He senses when you are lying to him and stuff. He can read your character really well.
I'm gonna say yes and no, because sometimes his judgment character is really on point, but sometimes...
But has he been wrong before?
Yeah.
With whom?
Yeah.
With whom? Who has he become friends with before that turned out to be a villain? He's never been betrayed. We said it last episode.
True.
So I think his character reading is pretty... for us, it looks naive, but it's pretty on point. Anyway, he's, staying on his guard, but I think, especially after he told them the story about his human side and stuff, it just became pretty evident that the chameleon had a good reason to go after Meruem. So it's tragic more than anything, and yeah, you would want to help him out, and he wants to introduce him to his other friends, so he's going to teach him how to trust. And I think it's going to work. He is on top of Knuckle in the ending, so...
So you're going to trust Knuckle?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. And Gon is saying, I'm strong, but I'm not the strongest. He's never managed to beat Knuckle. So he's like, some of us are stronger than me, and if Netero is not, we can't reach Netero, he's in some sort of trance
somewhere. Can you
somewhere.
imagine, though, if Knuckle managed to land a punch on Meruem and use his ability on him, and then you got Meruem fighting Netero, the dead would
I have a feeling that Knuckle is
fast.
not going to go against Meruem right now.
Yeah.
He's going to go against the guards. And that's one thing, because now they won't have the masters with them, so they need to each find one guard and fight it.
Yeah, I don't really have high hopes.
I think
if they're alone against one guard,
Gon is going to go against Neferpito. And then I think the best would be for Kirua to go against the one with the violin, and I think Knuckle is going to go against the red one. Because ability wise, I feel like Knuckle would fit best with the red one. And shoot could help anyone. So we'll see. I think and Knuckle is probably going to stick with the chameleon, because that's what Gon wants. He wants to introduce Knuckle to the chameleon and have them fight together, because the chameleon's ability would work amazingly with Knuckle, because every time he punches you, the interest keeps getting higher and higher. He gives it to you. So if you manage, it's not so much how strong of a hit you can give, it's just what the hit will do. And can you imagine if Knuckle's ability could affect someone like one of the guards or Meruem? Because Meruem's ability is every time it's not, I'm pretty sure it's not his only ability, but one of his abilities is that every time he eats someone with Nen, with Nen abilities, his Nen grows stronger. So, and Knuckle just erases that.
True.
So I'm like, that will work. And maybe Meruem is going to be a joint effort. I want to see, I want to see Netero fight Meruem one-on-one, but maybe killing Meruem is a matter of teaming up. The thing is with the chameleon though, it's because, you know, Neferpito, we saw her before, she can sense you from very far away. And you cannot hold your breath from that far away all the way into the palace.
Unless you can run fast, yeah.
But then, like, that's the thing. And she's got senses. She's a cat, you know, I don't know. And she's not the only one around. You know, there's the guy with the music. We still don't really know what his ability is. So, and the thing is, like, you have to get into that palace normally. So they will sense you. And once you're in there, that's when you stop breathing. So you need to attack fast. But they will guess eventually that he's still around. Because they will get hit as he's around. But not being there, you know? So they will figure it out and they will start throwing punches. So it will help as the, you know, element of surprise, but then after that, they will still have to...
So you need to be able to land one punch that would matter. So
yes.
Take your time, think it through.
Unless you can. But that's the thing, like, it's the worst ability for a smoker. Well, we'll see how they use it. Like,
you must have really strong lungs capacity then.
Because, I mean, with this ability, the best time for them to attack will be the beginning of the fight. But the longer the fight will be, the worse it will get.
Yeah.
Because they will figure out this ability. And they will start attacking everywhere. So.
But what you said about the fact that using Meleoron ability with Knuckles, if you cannot sense them, I think it might work that you're just gonna grow the interest without noticing.
Well, yes, but they will notice. They will get punched. You know, they will see that little thingy who won't disappear start growing and stuff, like, eventually.
Unless you cannot see it because it is technically with Knuckle, and Knuckle cannot perceive Knuckle.
You cannot perceive it, but I'm pretty sure you can perceive the pain if they get hit.
No, it did not. The gun touched the bird and the bird didn't sense it.
Well, he touched it, but if you punch the bird, I'm pretty sure the bird will be like, what the fuck? Kind of like the darts with Killua.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he doesn't see them coming, like, he doesn't see or feel them touch him, but then the pain will register. Right? The pain doesn't get erased.
Maybe.
If you just touch someone, you don't feel it, but if I push you like this, there's a force, you know?
Sorry.
Anyway, we will see, but I'm seeing an opportunity for a surprise attack, but then after that, they will still have to find a way to win.
We'll see. I'm expecting a fight next episode, so...
Well, there's always a fight in Hunter x Hunter.
Not in this time.
I want to see more of that little girl. I want to see the match.
I want to see the mind match.
I want to see more of Meruem right now. Weirdly enough, I'm more interested in what's going on with them. Thanks, narrator, for tipping me off on what might happen here. Anyway, it was a good episode. Thank you guys so much for watching this with us. If you want to see the next one right away, it is on Patreon already, or it will be very soon. Check it out. The link is in the description below.
And if you don't, remember the next one to be out on YouTube, which will be next week, guys.
Yes.
So, see you then.
Bye.